Do you love beer samples? Well, I bloody do, so I'm heading down to the Hobart Brewing Company to pick a couple up. G'day guys, Beer Healer here. Look, please indulge me tonight as this is a little bit of a longer review as I've got a few words from Scott the brewer when I had a bit of a chat to him today, and a few words from me on the Tassie beer scene in general. So look, if you like what I have to say or know someone who would, please either tag them in the video or share it with them. That would be really great and would really help me out. So anyway, I visited the Hobart Brewing Company on Hobart's waterfront today to grab some samples of their new bottle release XPA and their new brand spanking release, the Saison, and the gin barrel aged Saison as well. So here they are. But anyway, look, more about this XPA in just a moment. Once upon a time, when you visited Hobart and asked someone about visiting a brewery, you would just be told, get up the road and go to Cascade. But no more. There's a lot more options at Cascade, and it's absolutely sensational with over a dozen breweries now calling the greater Hobart area home. And there are some sensational beers being brewed by these locals, and it's absolutely fantastic to see. However, the biggest challenge for the Tassie breweries is getting beer into the drinkers' mouths. And look, we all know that it's a pretty small island that we've got here, so there are limited options. One option for them is to send their beer to the big island, get their beer into the hands of the people in the Melbourne and the Sydney markets, but it's not that easy. It's really expensive with freight and it's absolute killer, and kegs are also hard to do because you've got to get them over there and get them back or pay for the privilege to do so. It's a pretty tough game for all of those involved. Look, I always harp on about the local Tassie market not being big enough to sustain all the influx of these new breweries that are happening, and how the newbies have to really do something extra to survive and really have a great robust business plan, which is a little bit more than just make beer, sell beer around town. Anyway, to survive, I think they not only need to be producing consistent and quality beer, it's an absolute key in my books, but there's also going to be something a little bit more in their business plan, something like maybe a cellar door or an exclusivity arrangement with either a bottle shop or an ownership group, or maybe something along the lines of a really great limited release program that can give you some notoriety, make you stand out from the pack. Or you could think outside the square like the Hobart Brewing Company. So the Hobart Brewing Company have been around for a little bit over 2 years. They started off with a contract brewing arrangement out at Moo Brew, and then they moved to their own site about 12 months ago. It's been a hell of a ride for these guys, and they don't show any signs of slowing down. I wrote about them recently on beerhealer.com just after their tap room opening. So if you're interested in finding out a little bit more about Scott and Brennan's journey to date, head on over there and check it out. After chatting with these guys today about their business model, I've just got to say I am really, really impressed. They understand completely the risks about being part of like a big fish in a small pond in the Tassie craft beer industry. There just isn't enough thirsty mouths to quench. And these guys are doing something about it. They've taken the novel approach of doing some contract brewing with their regular bottle releases, and they chose to do it with a fantastic partner, Hawker's Brewery in Melbourne. This move is going to allow them to get their bottles into the mainland market without having to be slugged with all of those killer freight costs that we talked about before. Look, these guys aren't the only brewery doing this kind of thing, but they just might be the first Tasmanian brewery doing it with a partner in another state. This is the first beer that they're bottling in this arrangement. It's the XPA, and it's available in Tassie and select Victorian outlets from today, funnily enough. It's an XPA. So what do you think an XPA is? There's a lot of conjecture around these days as to what it means. So I asked Scott the brewer to give me a few words today what he thought his XPA stood for.
I have our the Hobart Brewing Company Extra Pale Ale in my hand, getting ready to enjoy. And there's our take on what an XPA is. There are a couple of takes you can go, or directions you can go. One is a lighter color, less alcohol, lighter than a pale ale. We went the higher road and designed this beer to sit in between a good hoppy pale ale, but not quite as big as an IPA. So still in that sessionable range. Ours comes in at 5.8%. So we did boost this up with more malt, more hops, but still in that drinkable, sessionable alcohol weight. But just a little more hoppiness to satisfy those people that just their lupulin threshold shift has started to increase, and the pale ale just isn't quite enough.
Thanks for that, Scott. Look, whether it's XPA for extra pale or XPA means that it's a beer that sits somewhere between an APA and an IPA, I'll let you guys decide. This one, however, is definitely the latter. It's 5.8% and 55 IBUs and looks absolutely sensational in the glass. This is a beer that's got a real bit in it. Look, and I love the brewer's notes on the side of the bottle for this beer. They are absolutely on point. When you're taking a whiff of it, you get Get aromas of sort of tropical fruit on the nose, and then in the taste is sort of, it's a really, it's good. It's a really hop forward brew, and I really like that. You get that nice fruitiness flowing on through. It's got a really beautiful spiciness about it. And then on the back end of the taste, you've got this really punchy bitterness that finishes off absolutely beautifully. If this beer is a sign of what mainland people should expect to see coming from Hobart Brewing Company, and hopefully other Tassie brewers soon, mainlanders should be getting very, very excited. And look, if you visit Tasmania and want to check out a brewery that's producing some interesting brews and not, you know, the mainstream sort of stuff, where you can get up close and personal with the brewer, the owner, the sales guy, researcher, marketer, and logistics manager, then I suggest you check out one of the little guys that are around the state. If you aren't sure where to find them, check out the Tasmanian Beer Trail website. It's a really good place to start. Look, one last word on the Hobart Brewing Company. These smaller bottles aren't the only bottles releases coming out this week. They're also releasing their Saison and the Gin Barrel Aged Saison this week as well, which are brewed, bottled, labelled and distributed with love by the team at the brewery right here on the Hobart waterfront. The Saison was in my hand, freshly labelled by Brendan right before my eyes this morning, and I cannot wait to try it. So look, I was going to say cheers to Hobart Brewing for thinking outside the square and producing some very tasty beers and coming up with a novel idea to ensure that their business is here for the long term. They produce consistent and great quality beers, and they're doing that really great step in, you know, producing a business plan that's going to see them be successful in the future. It's sensational. If you see one of these local bottles in your travels, or if you see one of the XPA, maybe in the mainland, pick one up, try it, and look, if you're on the Hobart waterfront, check them out when you're there next time. And look, on another point, if you know another small brewery who might want to have a video review done by yours truly here on this channel, drop me a line. But till we talk again, cheers to great beers.